Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 2 is a 2012 platformer video game in the Sonic the Hedgehog series, developed by Dimps with assistance from Sonic Team and published by Sega. It is a direct follow-up of Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 1. Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 2 was released in May 2012 for PC, via Steam, PlayStation Network, Xbox Live Arcade, Android and iOS. As with Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 1, the game is intended to emulate the original Sonic titles on the Sega Mega Drive. In addition, players who owned both episodes of Sonic the Hedgehog 4 on the same system were granted Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode Medal. Chronologically set several months after the first episode and a year after Sonic the Hedgehog CD, Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 2 sees the annual return of Little Planet to the Earth. After months of waiting, Dr. Eggman re-emerges to carry out the second phase of his master plan to avenge the destruction of the Death Egg, building a Death Egg MK2 around the planetoid and reviving Metal Sonic to aid him in his operations. Having learned that his nemesis is up to no good once again, Sonic the Hedgehog joins forces with his friend Tails once again to bring the scientist down. Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 2 was received with mixed reviews from critics, who felt that, despite its improvements over its predecessor, it still did not manage to hold its ground to the original Sega Mega Drive games. A new episode, Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 3, was conceived but ultimately cancelled. Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 2 plays similar to the previous episode, but with several enhancements. Sonic is now accompanied by Tails, either controlled by the computer or a second player via local or online cooperative play. Online support is not included on Android version due to lack of social gaming support, although there's no word if Google Play Games services will be added in the next Android update. Unlike in the 16-bit titles, Tails cannot be played in single player and likewise Sonic can't be played on his own here. There are also new various combination moves that can be performed together, such as Tails lifting Sonic up to places he would be unable to reach otherwise, and the two can roll into a ball to perform a fast and powerful spin attack. Special stages in Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 2, also accessed the same way they are in Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 1, are based on the half-pipe style format introduced in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, in which the player is required to collect a certain number of rings before the goal in order to obtain a Chaos Emerald. Also returning are the red star rings that have previously appeared in Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations. One red ring is hidden per act, and an achievement or trophy is unlocked after collecting them all. There is also cross-compatibility planned for the Xbox Live Arcade and Windows Phone 7 versions, allowing players to alternate their games between them using cloud saving. Owners of both Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 1 and Episode 2, provided they are both on the same unit, will unlock free Sonic the Hedgehog, Episode Medal content. Sonic the Hedgehog, Episode Medal explains how Metal Sonic came back to life after being defeated in Sonic the Hedgehog CD. Players play as Metal Sonic through 4 acts, all of which are reworked zones from Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 1, explaining the significance of those zones to the story as well. Special stages in Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 2 play akin to the special stages in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. In these stages, Sonic and Tails must collect a certain amount of rings, with the amount increasing after hitting a checkpoint. Unlike Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Tails can also collect rings but will not lose his share if he touches any bombs, although this is only true for single player. Also, the player can boost by holding the tag action button. While there is no time limit for this action, there is a timer used for time attack scores. The soundtrack of Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 2 was composed by Jun Senu, who also made the music for the previous episode. Like in the previous chapter, the tracks in this game were done with an FM sound to simulate the music in the Sega Mega Drive. With the improvements in the gameplay and graphics, Senu had also considered making a soundtrack separate to the FM one which fans could choose to play in the options menu, but Dimps rejected this idea. As of March 2012, Sega has no plans for the Sonic the Hedgehog 4 series beyond Episode 2. Takashi Iizuka has said that Sega is looking forward to user feedback and wants to see how users accept this episode. During PAX East 2012, Cheat Code Central spoke with Sega representatives who informed that the company would be taking Sonic games one at a time. It was said that if Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 2 sold well, a third episode will likely be developed, as well as a possible fourth episode if that does well in turn. However, in January 2015, Sega brand manager Ken Ballo said in a Facebook interview that Episode 3 had been scrapped. Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 2 received mixed response from critics and fans alike.